When you need to control who can access your Azure Blob storage, you have several authorization options as well. The best approach depends on your security requirements and how your application interact with the storage service. Let's discuss them here. Azure Storage supports Microsoft Entra ID authentication and allow you to use Azure role-based access control to manage access. When a user, group, or application's service principal request access to blob data, their identity is authenticated via Microsoft Entra ID, which provides an OAuth 2.0 access token. And the token is then used to authorize access to the requested blob resource. This method is preferred because it eliminates the need to store account access keys in your applications, which makes it more secure and easier to manage. Microsoft recommends using managed identities to simplify authentication for applications running in Azure. If your application runs outside Azure, such as on-premises, you can use Azure Arc to enable managed identities. In scenarios where Microsoft Entra ID authentication is not feasible, you can use shared access signature. Instead of granting full access with an account key, SaaS provides time-limited permission scope access. A user delegation SaaS is prepared over traditional SaaS because it is secured using Microsoft Entra credentials rather than the storage account key. This makes it more secure as compromised storage account keys won't affect user delegation SaaS tokens. By default, every Azure storage account has two access keys. These keys grant full access to your storage account, so using them directly is discouraged. If your Azure role includes the permission lease key on the storage account, you can retrieve and use the account keys. However, shared key authorization is less secure, and Microsoft recommends disabling it in production environments to prevent unauthorized access. Microsoft Entra ID authentication works with Azure Airbag roles to control who can access blob data as well. You need to assign the correct built-in or custom Azure roles. Storage blob data owner grants full control, including managing ACLs for Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 as well. Storage blob data contributor grants read, write, delete permissions but cannot manage ACLs. Storage blob data reader provides read-only access to blob data, and storage blob delegator allows obtaining a user delegation SaaS. You can assign these roles at different levels, from a single container to the entire subscription. It's a best practice to grant only the minimum required access. As mentioned previously, when you access blobs from the Azure portal, the portal checks your assigned roles. If you have lease key action on the storage account, the portal uses the storage account key. If not, the portal uses Microsoft Entra ID authentication. If you want to force Microsoft Entra authentication and prevent the use of storage key, you can disable shared key authorization in your storage account settings. Bottom line, you should always prefer Microsoft Entra ID authentication over account keys for better security when it comes to the Azure Blob security. You should use user delegation SaaS instead of traditional SaaS when possible. You should assign Azure Airbag roles carefully to follow the principle of least privilege, and you should disable shared key authorization if it is not needed. By following these best practices, you ensure secure, manageable, and scalable access control for Azure Blob storage.